Hi everyone, so I thought I would film the French fancy. We built this one on the Facebook Live, so we've done a pink one. I do want to build a yellow one as well. These are going to go on my Christmas tree or just a general display, it's completely up to you. So the things you're going to need is a glue gun, some cardstock, some greaseproof paper and your clay. You can build these to whatever size you like. Now if you are from the US, you might be wondering what a French fancy is. It's a Mr. Kipling sort of cake that we get here in the UK. They come in boxes of 6. So it comes as a standard colour in pink, chocolate and lemon. So the size that you see in the back, this is a 5x5. So this is, get yourself some quite heavy cardstock. And this is 5 centimetres in width. And then what I need to do now is just mark 5 centimetres on my first square, because what we're going to do, we're going to build a box first. I've just scored it on 5 centimetres. Now you might want to carry on and mark 4 more on 5 centimetres. I just find it easier just to fold it on my template first. And then just carry on folding. So the length of this, obviously it's got to be over 20 centimetres if you are doing this size. And now we're just going to squeeze these corners just on our folds to create the square. Next you will need to trim off the excess of your cardboard and just give yourself just a little lip, because this is where we're going to pop our glue gun, just to give us a little flap. So next we need to pop a bottom on. So the easiest way to do this, rather than trying to get this as a template, draw it around and then obviously cut it out and glue it back on. Again, just take some cardboard, run your glue gun right the way around your square and then place this on top of your cardboard. You will just need to trim off the bottom, so just follow the guide all the way around. And then you're going to repeat the same method, glue gun in for your top and then trimming that off. We should now have a square box, which is going to be our base for our French fancy. So next what you'll need to do is just grab some foam clay. I do use bows in white. So just even if it's coloured, it doesn't really matter. It's just to pop the little cream part on the top to give it a little dome. Now if you are tempted to use a polyball cut in half, it's going to be quite difficult for you to stretch your clay over later on. It tends to sort of crack. This way it can mould already around this little bobble that we're going to put on. Just so much easier using the clay rather than a polyball. So just make a little ball out of your clay. Just pop this just on the top. And then you can just start shaping this down just before you glue it on. Because you want it coming up, you know, quite high. So just mould it on top of the box, it won't stick until you've got the size that you want. And then just taking some tacky glue, just going to place this just underneath here. You can obviously use PVA glue as well. And then just centralise that in the middle. You're going to need to let this dry for, you know, 10 minutes or so, because once you start wrapping your clay, you don't want this little ball to be sliding about. So whilst that is drying, you can start building your little casing. So the original ones do come in sort of like a white loose case. You might want to fold a different colour if you want to. So I've just got myself a strip of greaseproof paper. And I've just sort of folded it backwards and forwards, just like we used to make the little fans when we was at school. It's the same method. So make this quite long. We're not going to cut it just yet until we've got our clay on, because obviously it's going to go a little bit higher. But the cases generally sort of sit just below. So just make sure you've got enough. And then you can snip that off afterwards. So you can be folding your little casing while that is drying. We can also mix up some clay as well while we're waiting, so we'll do that in a second. If you want your base white, you are best, because obviously this is quite clear, just getting some white cardstock and then just using your PVA glue or your tacky glue just to the bottom. That way, once you get your casing on, the underneath is going to be white. I don't tend to do it with mine because obviously they're only for me to go on my display. So next we're going to mix up some yellow. So I'm just going to go in with a buttercup yellow, but any standard yellow will be fine. And then I'm just going to grab some more foam clay. So as always, just manipulate your clay. Stops it getting sticky and cracking. Just get some air into it. Then you're going to form a well. And we're just going to add some yellow just in the middle. We don't want it too yellow. So just a little bit in the middle. If you add too much, your clay will start becoming quite snappy. It's got sort of like a snap effect. And obviously if you are working on smaller ones, I would suggest using a little cocktail stick to pop in your colour. That way you've got a little bit more control of how much colour that goes in. So now what you'll need to do is just give all this a good mix, and it will go like a lemony colour. Because obviously we are working on a white base, it's not going to lift to the colour that we have just popped in. Once everything is coloured, you will just need to roll out your clay just enough to cover all your box. So you will not need to use any glue on here. Your clay will stick to your box. If you do end up using PVA glue, it will make your cardboard quite soggy and possibly lose its square. So you are best just placing this over the top. Obviously it's going to stick to this ball as well. So it's about 1 centimetre in thickness. Taking your box, you're going to just place this over the top to start with and just let it naturally fold. Next, using the inner part of your hands, you're now going to find that ball that we've popped on the top just by moving your square box around, and just start pushing this around the top. So we're not dragging it down, we're just pushing it for now. You can use your fingers as well. And just work along the top. Next, you're going to fold your clay down. So we're just going to push this into the box. So no dragging, just whatever you find easiest. I just find it easy just to roll it down. Then just keep lifting your box up until you've gone all the way around. Keep squashing it into the sides as well. You'll feel where the box is. And then once you've got your rough shape, we are now just going to cut off the excess at the bottom just by using some scissors. So I'm not going to go too close just yet. And then next we're just going to work on these corners. So just pinch it slightly, try and not drag it out too much. You might have more to trim off than me, depending on how much clay you've put over the top. So just start pinching it. And then with this excess clay, just going to take some scissors and then just snip straight up. So you will need to repeat this on all 4 sides. Just show you another one. Don't worry again about getting anything smooth down here. The casing does cover it. However, if you want it really smooth, you can then leave it on a flat surface and just go over it again with your rolling pin. So I'm just going to work on the other sides. And then once you've worked around all your corners, you can then take off any excess if needed, just along the bottom. And then just keep squishing it as your clay is swelling slightly. And then next we're going to add our case. So we folded this earlier. So now I want it sitting just below here. So I'm now going to snip it off at this end. If you are making a few, you can obviously fold a bigger width. That way you've got a longer strip and then you can cut this into 4. So now we're going to use our tacky glue. Let's just unfold all this. And first of all, we're just going to place some tacky glue just in this corner here. And you're going to start with your case and just pop this on your glue. It will look white through this until it dries. So keep it on a flat surface. It's just going to give you a better guide of how far down you need your case. We're not going to pull it too tight because these casings do come out. They are quite loose fitting on these cakes. So then we're going to tacky glue this corner and place that on here. Tacky glue this corner onto here and then tacky glue this corner. And just work all the way around, just adding that tacky glue just in each of your corners. Then once you get round to the first corner, just going to trim this off just a little bit. Add some more tacky glue on this lip here. Measure it before I cut it. And then you're going to place this on the top and then you can trim off this excess. So we now have our casing on. So now just gently, just pinch it between your fingers. And now you're going to just run some tacky glue all the way along this bottom part here, just to catch, a bit of cardboard on me, just to catch this sort of bottom lip. And then once all your tacky glue is in place, you're just going to push it to the bottom. It'll just help just flare out the top and obviously keep all the bottom part in shape. So just make sure it's attached to your clay. So all this is now attached to the bottom. Obviously it might become quite sticky at the bottom. You might want to pop it on some more greaseproof paper or something like that. Just stop it sticking all over your mat like mine. So the last thing we want to do is add the drip to the top. Now the lemon ones come with quite a light chocolate drip, so we're going to mix that up next. So again, just using some White Bose foam clay. Just give it a bit of a manipulation, again as always, just form a little well in the middle. I'm going to use some raw umber. This is not going to go this colour, it's going to go, you know, quite a bit lighter. So if you are wanting it quite dark, you're going to have to paint it over the top once everything is dry. So just like I previously mentioned, I do not now want to squirt this in the middle. I'm going to get far too much paint, and like I said, we're going to get sort of a snap effect. So because I haven't got too much clay, I'm just going to add in my colour just with a cocktail stick and then give that a mix. So this is how light it goes. So it's easier making the base, especially if you are wanting to colour it over the top, rather than just sort of trying to paint it straight onto white. You're going to get the base underneath. So, you know, you're not going to struggle so much by colouring your clay. I will end up running a paintbrush just along here once my clay is dry, but I will show you that shortly. So now what you will need to do is just form a sausage. You can go as thick or as thin as you like, just enough to make an S shape to go over the top. So just keep rolling your clay backwards and forwards till you get the thickness that you would like. If your clay has dried, you will need to add some tacky glue just in like an S shape, starting from one corner and finishing on the other. If you are, you know, not confident enough, because you know what clay is like once your clay, and you stick this on your clay, you're not going to be able to get it off. So if you're not confident enough to do it freehand, you can use tacky glue anyway, and then just follow the guide that you've put on. Obviously you can dip your tacky glue, a cocktail stick in your tacky glue, just to give you a thinner line. So once you have enough, just going to snip off the end. I doing a chocolate one at the moment, which I'll show you, but I've had to paint that to get it darker. So I do need chocolate topping on the chocolate as well. So I've done it a little bit extra. So we're going to start in this corner here, and we're just going to let it naturally bend. So just pop it in this corner. You're going to work in a diagonal. Let it naturally fold. So just lift it up and then go over the top. Lift it up. So I'm not pushing it on just yet. And then this end, I'm just going to curl and finish in this corner. So once that is in place, you'll get sort of like a little gap like this. Just gently tap that, just so it goes in the form of the ball underneath. If you've gone, you know, haven't cut it and you've got quite a long piece, just trim that off with your scissors. So it does look quite dark, however the chocolate on these are a little bit darker, so it's completely up to you whether you want to go ahead with some paint. I haven't decided yet. Now it's on that yellow, it does look a lot darker than what I thought it would. So just keep pushing all this into place. And then if you want to add some glitter, you can just use some clear PVA glue or normal PVA glue. Spread that all over the top and then pop some glitter on. Now added my glitter. This is the white iridescent sort of glitter flakes. The French fancies do not come with sort of sugar or anything like that on the top, but I just think it just finishes them off, especially for your display. So that's the pink one, which is now dry. And we have just built the yellow. And then let me just show you the chocolate. So this is the chocolate one, all exactly the same size, same method. And I've just went over just with 2 coats with some raw umber. So I'm just going to finish this one off camera, just by adding my casing and my drip. And then I'll be back to show you all 3. Now back with all 3 colours. I did end up using my raw umber, which was the base colour that I painted my chocolate with. I just need to explain that base in a second. I just went over with the paint. Now the lemon, I have kept the colour that we've mixed on the video. However, in the original, it is this darker chocolate, but I do like that chocolate. So again, it's completely up to you whether you want to run your brush. I was umming and ahhing about it for a while, but I'm going to keep it the lighter brown. So just before I finished the video, I added my casing so everything was exactly the same. Painted the whole thing in raw umber, give it 2 coats like I explained previously. I wouldn't use your white tacky glue for this base. I stuck it on. What happened was, as it was drying, you could see the white underneath, because obviously I've gone over and painted my clay. So it's not going to go as clear as obviously the other 2, with this having a couple of layers of paint on. Obviously this is going to eventually, you know, dry, so you can't see all these little marks on it. So I went in with some clear PVA glue. So if you are painting it and doing the chocolate, I would suggest going in with clear PVA glue, because your white tacky glue will still show through this casing. So that's really the only blip I can think of by doing this one. So that is it. I really hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I really hope you give them a go. Please let me know how you get on, and I will see you all soon. Goodbye, everybody.